Hey everybody, welcome to Shifty's Club. Today, I'm going to talk about the aftermath of the Pokemon National Championships and what I think will result from the new Steam Siege set. To be honest, guys, as I predicted, Night March won the National Championship. But the most dominant variant by far was with Vespiquen. Because so many water-based decks gain massive popularity, and most of those are weak to grass, so it gives, as Vespiquen, I guess you'd call it easy edge for this format. But, of course, that's to say that the deck is so dominant, but the reason the Disruption version won is because they were able to enhance Hammer with Sarasic, which, and then that basically what it does is give like a Giratina, and it'll kill the double colorless double dragon or two double dragon, however it goes. And really, the only Giratina that can survive is against the dark matchup. And basically, the other decks that slow it down are nullified somewhat because of basically the max line of Shaman EX and Unknown. Which are very capable of swinging matches in your favor. However, I'm a huge fan of Maxie's Marowak in this deck. Or you could Tekken Mew and Basic Energies, because even with Steam Siege coming out in a month, Night March, Vespiquen, Maxie's Marowak will still be a force to deal with, which to deal. However, speaking of Steam Siege, though, we'll have a brand new set coming out this month. Surprising will be legal for the World Championships. The new rule states that, I believe, hang on, let me see if I can, basically the new set should be legal, I think it's the third Friday after the set's released, meaning we'll have it, we'll have our first ever in the Pokemon TCG where the first day of the new format's legality in tournament play will be the World Championships. So, it'll surely test the player's abilities with a brand new format. However, let's see. Well, now if you ask me what I think of this format, I'll tell you that you won't believe the huge shift our format will take. Let's see. Trying to pull this up, guys. I was looking on PokeBeach. I hate the reading straight from one thing because you can go back to the way TCG, or not TCG, PokeBeach used to have it, and they would have it really cool, all lined up, and everything would just go straight down. You could just scroll down and see all the news instead of clicking on this stupid tab to scroll across. I mean, who the heck wants to look at crap like that? I mean, today's modern age, for example, I was on Microsoft Word trying to make my resume better. God, I hate the new stuff because the coding just doesn't work. The older style works because the coding's simple. They're not trying to put like 2 and 2 together with more than just 2 and 2. They're trying to put literally everything else they can to try to make themselves look better for some reason. Okay, so let's see. Let me scroll down. Yeah, I just got really wet on my face. So let's see. I think it's somewhere around here. I'll be able to find it, guys. I'm not going to keep you too much longer. But I did want to get across some of the cards that I did think would be, really good in this format. Okay. Oh, that's why I couldn't find it. It's on page freaking 2. No wonder. I should have noticed by the scroll bar. Stupid scroll bar. Okay, let's see. Not it, 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 not it. Jesus. What the heck is that? Are we gonna get like a freaking Pikachu EX with like the red and blue collection? Are you freaking kidding me? That is ridiculous. Yeah. Okay. So here it is. Sort of kind of what I expect to be good. Okay. So I'm going to start going down the line here. Okay. So first off, Volcanion X will get the most hype because of its playability alongside Shaman X. And you'll see a lot of Japanese players play 4 Volcarona, 4 Shaman, 1 or 2. If they're on the safe side, they'll play 2 Manaphy EX. And they'll pair this with either Scorched Earth or Skyfield, depending on how they feel about it. Because sometimes you might want the extra draw from Scorched Earth, but at other times you just want to set up as many Volcanion as possible. And to do that, you need to go through your Shaman resources, of course. And at the even at that point, you still got to have 1 Manaphy to put down because Volcanion can't attack over and over every turn. And you certainly don't want the baby one because the baby one's just not going to be that good, as we all know. But they'll pair it like, Scorched Earth for Skyfield, Fury Torch, Blacksmith, and onto Fire Energy. And, well, you may see some players overextending its best interest, but you definitely won't see them too well with others. Because, 160 plus 30 more for each Volcanion EX ability you use. You discard a fire from your hand and do 30 more. That could cause some havoc. Say, for instance, you have 3 Volcanion EX on the bench, which is very possible. You can easily have 4 Fire Energy in your hand via Fisherman. It's very easy. And then you could have the 1 for your energy attachment. So it's very possible to be knocking out EXs with Fighting Fury Belt with literally no effort on your part. Just as long as you have the VS Seeker. You could always get back VS Seekers with Puzzle of Time. You can get back Fisherman with POW pads. There's plenty of ways. Of course, we will have to extend past VS Seeker for Volcanion EX. We'll have to extend past Energy Retrieval because Volcanion EX is going to work in this World Championship format. I'm not sure with the Primal Clash rotation how well it'll fare because how much synergy it will have with Blacksmith. Because this Pokemon is just completely deadly. So there's really no telling what will happen here. But Volcanion EX will definitely be something to worry about. Let's see. I'm going to get to that in a second. I'd rather get the big guns first. Another deck is, you'll surely see a Cernius Break in Aromatisse. This deck will be massively amazing. Given the previous decks we've seen at Nationals, if Nationals is any consolidation, or consolation, sorry, not consolidation, any consolation of what we'll see, or what will flip over to Worlds, then there will be plenty of players and probably the entire nation of Finland playing this deck. And its attack may be similar to Mega Gardevoir's, but the combo overall is light years better. Just because you have 4 Cernius, 3 Cernius Break, an Aromatisse line, and then just whatever else you need, which you shouldn't really need too much else. So 10 basic Pokemon, 4 Cernius, 3 Spritzy, 3 Shaman EX. That should do fairly well for you. And this should be a very reasonable deck, a very easy deck to follow along. It'll definitely get some hype. I guarantee you're going to see this at Worlds, and there will be a lot of players playing it. Of course, people are definitely going to try Volcanion. Who can't? But who could ignore Cernius Break? I am literally like convinced that Finland will take Cernius Break Aromatisse to the freaking World Championships. I am very convinced because it is that good. And of course, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean that because, let's see, Voltal Break is coming out and Dark decks already make a splash. I mean, they're the biggest freaking threat in the metagame. It's not even funny. And if you look for Eviltal Break on Bulbapedia, you'll see why it's good. Of course, you can look on PokeBeach. It takes a little while to scroll through. But I'm not going to diss PokeBeach. PokeBeach is awesome. I mean, you'll see why it's so good. Because trust me when I say that Dark-type will still hold its place in the best deck in Expanded. With a half a dozen cards being the difference between Standard and Expanded. You can see why it will be a force with which to deal. For 3 Darkness Energy, 120 damage, and 30 to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon that already has damage counters on it. So, Trevenant, you were a really good force, right? Topped you. I got an extra 90 damage on the active Pokemon. Be what you gonna do when they come for you. Okay. I had enough fun with that one. Let's see. And then, speaking of Expanded, though. Oh, man, I almost forgot about this one, but there's no way I could forget about this Pokemon. Okay. Trust me when I say that this will be a guaranteed success. This will be the best thing that's happened to this format. It's not an attacker at all, but it is the best freaking card I've ever seen release. This is awesome. But speaking of Expanded, Execute has been pretty much the most popular baby card out of the bunch. Of course, there haven't really been many of those 30-40 HP Pokemon that can literally like shine really well. But now we've got another more amazing toy with which to play. And if you haven't looked at it, it's because either you didn't think anything would be relevant outside of EXs and fully evolved Pokemon, or you just didn't care about the format. No, I'm kidding. But anyway, the Pokemon I'm talking about is Fungus. Yeah, I know. I'm not exciting anybody with just the name. Of course you're not. It's a freaking mushroom with a Pokeball on top. Or let me phrase that, a semi-Pokeball mushroom. What more do you want from a Pokemon? But this thing, take that Pokeball on its head. That really can tell you what its ability is gonna do. Its ability is called Play Ball. And it says, you may use this ability when you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench. Search your discard pile for up to 3 Pokeball cards, shove your opponent, and put them into your hand. Now you're saying, Shifty, well, Pokeball is already a crappy card and format, right? Of course. It's very crappy. You've got Ultra Ball, discard 2, and search for a Pokemon. You've got Level Ball that lets you search for a Pokemon with HP 90 or less. You've got a card that allows you to search for a card with 3 or less. 3 or more retreat cost. So let's see. So, and other Pokemon that are in play. Let's see, a whole bunch of other crappy Pokeballs that no one else cares about. And I don't see how Dive Ball jumped up to $2 because nobody uses it. Everybody uses non-water Pokemon in any water toolbox or Greninja deck. We know it. There's no reason for Dive Ball to be skyrocketing to $2 unless some Japanese players think they got something made up. Let's see. But anyway, basically taking 3 Pokeball cards from your discard pile to your hand. Here's why it's so good. Number 1, you can Battle Compressor 3 Pokeball away. Number 2, you can easily search Fungus out, even as a 1-of. But 2-of's probably more efficient. However, what you're going to do is you're going to get Fungus, and then after you either play 3 Pokeball or you Battle Compressor 3 Pokeball. And then when you play it, you bring the Pokeballs back up to your hand, play it, play the next one, play the next one. At one point, you should be able to land 1 or 2 of those coins as heads. If you land 0 or 3, you're either the luckiest person alive or the person with the crappiest luck ever. And chances are I'd be the person with the crappiest luck ever. Now, thanks some stupid ties, I could have freaking won any state regional championship. Heck, I'd have won freaking nationals. They didn't have ties. We could have 75 minutes in every single tournament. I don't think there was a shot in the world people would be able to beat me too easily. Let's see. But anyway, so pretty much no one will want to tell me that either card is relevant because decks that require multiple Pokemon with more than 90 HP or retreat cost less than 3 would rather resort to this option. And here's the first turn strategy though. Like I said, Battle Compressor, or you can just play the 3 Pokeball. Play Fungus, search for it however you want, draw into it, whatever you may be. And then get the 3 Pokeballs in your hand, play them however they work for you. You can use plenty of different ways to scoop Fungus out. It's not impossible, but it is very hard with the new rotation. But without it, you still have AZ, Cassius, and Super Scoop Up, whereas in a rotation, all you're having is Super Scoop Up. If I'm not badly wrong, and it did reprint in Generations. But yeah, but like I said, this combo is going to be freaking amazing. Because at that point, you can play 1-ofs, you can play 2-ofs, you can play rainbow decks if you want. My favorite thing to do is with Fungus is to just get a whole bunch of these weird EXs out, and I can basically just use Max Elixir if I get the card I want. Cool if I don't, that's fine. And then one of my Battle Compressors, if I've already played a Pokeball, I can just discard 2 and the correct energy, and then I can get the energy for that matchup. Use Smurgle to basically swap the energy after I get the Pokemon active. So, yeah. But I'm going to go ahead and get to the rogue players because I know most of you respect me for my rogue abilities. And then for the rogue players, there'll be a couple Pokemon that will make themselves, like, stand out completely to us. And the first and most obvious to anybody is going to be Ampharos. Let's see if I can find it. Come here, sheep. I want to count my sheep. 1 thunder sheep, 2 thunder sheep, 3. Oh, cool. Here we go. Let's see. Ampharos. Here we go. Ability, Shocking Light. How shocking is this ability? Once your turn before you attack, you may choose one of your opponent's Pokemon EX, put 3 damage counters on it. Maybe stage 2, but it's a freaking Crobat every single turn on EX Pokemon. That is amazing. Nobody could turn that ability down if they had genuine access to it. Of course, if you have 2 Ampharos down, if you can get rid of your opponent's tool cards effectively before your attack, you could legitimately do with, say, a Trick Coin, you could legitimately do 180 damage with 2 Ampharos abilities and a first or second heads from a Giga Bolt flip. Because it's 80 damage plus 40 if you flip heads, or paralysis if you flip tails. But of course, we know there's plenty of ways around, you know, paralysis and stuff like that. There's a lot of ways. Float stones get you, can get you out with the Zoroark combo. Let's see, what else is there? Pokemon Center Lady can get you out. Obviously full heal, but no one's going to run full heal. There's a few, but probably not too many of them that'll be very useful. I mean, when it comes to Zoroark matchups, you're going to be targeting down Yveltal. You're going to be Lysander, Shocking Light, Gigabolt, flip heads, cool. If tails, flip again. Get those knockouts on Darkrai. Of course, if you come up against Yveltal just straight up, guess where that Shocking Light's going? Bench Shaman, or you could just Lysander. Oh, there's a Shaman Gigaball. I don't care what I flip. Take this Darkrai. Take this Darkrai. So I guess either way, Ampharos could do pretty well. So it's gonna be kept in the Uber, but it's not. I don't think it's gonna be anything like Crobat, because Crobat could attack for no energy with Dimension Valley, and it's even though its effect had to come into play, it still had free retreat costs. It had everything working for it. So I can't see Ampharos being quite as good, but it will definitely see some play. I will guarantee you it will. And who knows, some people may try to pair it with Magnezone, which I'd love to see paired with Magnezone and Raikou. And let's see. But better yet, imagine being able to do 40 for one colorless energy and move energy from the defending Pokemon to the bench Pokemon. And this Pokemon is Armaldo. And with believe it or not, with AZ Cassius rotating out of standard soon, we could see potential on non-EX one-hit KOs with Armaldo, by way of like Strong Energy, Regirock EX, Machamp, Giovanni Scheme, you know, stuff like that. But basically, you could take 40 and turn it into a KO or 2H KO on an EX, while basically taking away your opponent's options to attack. So Armaldo looks amazing. He's got a beefy 150 HP. It may have a retreat cost of 2, but that is the least of your worries, because one colorless for 40, and then one of the best effects I've ever known is basically a Slowking with a guaranteed heads, but you still do 40 for 1 energy, and good Lord knows how much you can increase that damage. And then obviously Guard Claw, 1 fighting, 2 colorless for 100. You could easily get that up to one hit knockout range very easily, and then reduce damage done to it by 30 next turn. So it is very possible, because at that point Armaldo has to take 180 damage to get one hit, one-shotted by after a Guard Claw attack. So it's pretty good. And oh yeah, the last strategy I want to go over, I think it's down here. Maybe it's the other way around. Dadgummit. Okay. The only reason I'm listing this one is because I know that there will be players to try this out, and it will succeed at Worlds. Mainly German players, I think, will play the Water Toolbox. I believe Finnish players will play Cernius. Pretty much all of England's going to be playing a mix of Vespic and Vileplume and Greninja. Italian players are going to be playing probably Greninja. But then you have the French players, who always come with some weird rogue combinations. And I think that Fabien Garnier, with his background and expertise in some of these deals, I believe he could come up with the perfect Mega Steelix EX Bronzong deck. And trust me when I say you will see this at the World Championships. Mega Steelix is one of those dual types that are going to be both metal and fighting, giving it a huge opportunity to do a lot. Because at this point, Mega Steelix can basically shoot basically can shoot everything in the foot. Water Toolbox, your Articuno, your Regice, even with the Fighting, or sorry, even with Fighting Fury Belt, and I forget what the other one's called. So because at that point they're at 160, but I forget what other card it is that they combo with. To stop OHKOs. Oh my God, what is it? I can't remember. Most players don't play it, but expect when people see what Mega Steelix does, expect them to do it. I totally forget what it is. And I'm sorry, guys, because that usually doesn't happen to me. Mega Steelix is going to be one shot and everything, 160 damage. All you need is a tool retriever and muscle band. At that point, you're shooting everything for 180. You can use Giovanni's Scheme if you have to. You can use Fighting Stadium if you have to. You can use you can use Strong Energy, but I would highly suggest you wait until you Mega Evolve to attach it. Otherwise, you know, you're just making yourself look like a fool. But anyway, Mega Steelix could definitely show us some good potential here because it's part fighting. It can take use of all of these different tactics, especially Karina. Karina will probably be the difference between a win and a loss with Mega Steelix because of their ability to instantly grab the Mega Steelix and the either the Spirit Link or another tool card to replace the Spirit Link that's already attached to it. Because once you use one, and you can basically tool retriever, attach it to another Steelix EX you throw down, and at that point you can just evolve tool retriever, throw on like a muscle band, have a Fighting Stadium Strong Energy somewhere along that metal and 4 colorless mix. 220, that pretty much knocks anything out with Fighting Fury Belt. So we're talking about some serious skin here with Mega Steelix. And I think Mega Steel. I think probably Japan's got a pretty good shot with this deck, but I highly doubt that they would resort to a 5 energy cost attacker. I think if anybody could do it, Fabian Garnier, who found a way for a Pokemon attack for no freaking energy. I think he could make something with 5 energy work pretty well. Even though I have never seen 5 energy work decently in the past. Who knows? Someone like that may be able to do something with this. God knows I couldn't. And now we're going to get to my favorite Pokemon. Probably something I'm going to have a side deck with. In this Pokemon, if any of you remember Mega Prime from a while back, Mega Prime had a Poke Power that said if you have the same number of cards in your hand as your opponent, its attacks cost no energy. Or its energy cost for its attacks is 0. Ability Sonic Vision, if your hand has 4 cards in it, Pokemon's attacks cost no energy to use. Triple Colorless, Salt Boom, 50 plus 70 if your defending Pokemon has a tool card attached to it. And its Break for 140 HP is pretty cool. Triple Colorless, 100 damage, not affected by weakness, resistance, or anything on the defending Pokemon. So that's pretty cool. I think it's definitely going to see some play. Do I think it's going to crush the format? Absolutely not. If anything can crush the format at Worlds, it's going to be Volcanion and Mega Steelix by far. But the Rogue players are going to get Mega Steelix because its energy cost is way too high. Volcanion and Cernius are going to absolutely just blow everything to pieces from this new set. But as of everything else, there's a lot of hype around this stupid Mega Gardevoir, and I don't like it one bit. Of course, it can get rid of Shamans, but what the heck is going to get rid of it? Because it is not good. 2 energy, and you're doing 110, discarding your own benched Pokemon to do more damage? Yeah, nah, I'm passing on that. Of course, we could use this other Gardevoir for our older Mega Gardevoir, because this one seems like it does a little better because 30 plus 70, if this Pokemon has the same number of energy attached to it, so a freshly made Eviltal could match very well with Gardevoir and still have some resistance matchup as well. So at that point, that'd be 100 base with Fairy Colorless and Dark Colorless either way, but you would get the better side because you would be able to get the knockout where your opponent couldn't because resistance bringing it down. Of course, with fighting Fury Belt on either one of them makes it easier, but of course you're just going to Mega Evolve and you're not playing Shrine of Memories because that card is just completely worthless in this format. Now we're going to get to the best stuff. The best stuff in here. One of my favorite cards, I'll get to in a second. I'm going to get to the cards that people are going to overhype and it's not worth a piece of crap. Greedy Die is worthless, pointless. Do not hype it one bit. If you take this card as your face-down prize card, before putting it in your hand, flip a coin. If heads, take another prize card. So basically, before putting it in your hand. So, yeah. What are the chances of those things even going to end up? What's the chances you're even going to take it? I mean, Greedy Die, there might be some weird something that may come out in the future that could use Greedy Die, but as far as right now, not even Talmap could save this thing. The one card that you're going to want to play that's a trainer card is Special Charge. You will see 4 of them in every deck that runs 4 DCE or DCE double colorless, double dragon. You will definitely see this. And it says, for trainer item, it says shuffle 2 special energy cards from your discard pile back in your deck. So basically, no longer does Enhance Hammer completely change a game. Aegislash, you are absolutely just benign, but we're going to destroy you with Lysander, so feel free to do anything you can to us. We still got Hex Maniac. Let's see. What else is there? Okay, here we go. And then another one I wanted to point out was Ninja Boy. Now, this one is a little weird because chances are you would want to use this in a format with something like X-Transceiver. But because that seems very awkward and very out of format, then Ninja Boy doesn't really make much sense. Of course, a one-of's not a bad idea in some situations. Say, for instance, you have this huge Pokemon up front you can't get rid of, but you do have a VS Seeker. It makes a lot of sense just to use Olympia, of course, and just keep the Pokemon down. But if they pull up a Shaman to, then yeah, Ninja Boy's going to be very good because at that point you can basically swap Shaman with any other one Pokemon and be able to reuse Shaman. So that is a good strategy. And it also works with Fungus like I was talking about before. However, I would completely rethink how you use this card before you even think about using it in a deck, because I really don't see the huge payoff. However, this one may or may not make its way up. Pokemon Ranger. Remove all effects of attacks on both players and all Pokemon. Now, this one's kind of weird because this one will nullify Seismitoad, Giratina, Jolteon, Glaceon. So pretty much any deck that runs one Ranger and can have instant access to it and constant access to it can basically just deplete things. So, and you can also, not only could you use it to prevent your opponent from locking you, but you can also use it to prevent your own Pokemon from locking themselves. For example, Volcanion with a Pokemon Ranger, instead of like Blacksmith, you can have that same Pokemon attacking again right after it did attack with even Pokemon Ranger. So, and I know there are many more strategies that will arise from the Steam Siege, but that's just what I expect at Worlds. And after Worlds, get it? After Worlds instead of afterwards. Afterwards. But yeah, now there'll be a clearer picture of what Steam Siege will offer the format, and when it does, I'll bring you the inside of everything I think will hold. But yeah, guys, that's Steam Siege in a nutshell. But if you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe, post any comments in the comment section down below. And as always, hope you guys had as much fun as I had, even though it's been 35 minutes. Goodness gracious. And I'll let you guys go. I'll see you guys next time at Shifty's Club.